I just knew I had to start something. So I remember my first real challenge in business. I believe I was about 12 years old. Clearing my last driveway of the route, and all of a sudden I'm blowing, and nothing. My tractor doesn't want to go anywhere. It turns out I blew the transmission in this thing. It was completely toast. Tractor was worthless. There was more snow coming later that week, and so it was an absolute panic. So fortunately, my dad is very kind and mechanically inclined. So he gave me a $2,000 loan, and I purchased a $2,000 transmission for a lawn tractor that was worth $1,600. So we put that transmission in, up late one night, whatever, got it expedited, and saved the day. My name's Nick. I'm a 21-year-old entrepreneur, and just want to give you a little backstory on how I built my companies and hopefully provide some insights for you along the way. I can't remember a time as a kid that I didn't want to own a business. Heavy equipment's always been a passion of mine, so I always saw myself as owning, a large construction company or a farm or something like that. But practically speaking, didn't really see a path towards that. Those are fairly high barrier to entry businesses. So I just started walking around in my neighborhood in the winter and, knocking on doors and shoveling driveways. Didn't see any connection between that and my future career. It was really just, something to do to make some extra money. So I knew I wanted to own a business, but I really had no idea where to start. So, like anything in life, sometimes you just have to take action and make something happen. So, started knocking on some neighbors' doors and drumming up some business. And what did I know how to do as an 11-year-old kid? Shovel driveways. So that's what I did. When I turned 14, something interesting happened. I met my first real mentor, a guy named Paul Vanderzon from Montreal. And he showed me that out east in Quebec, there's a huge industry of residential snow removal. And it turns out that they use tractors with something called inverted snow blowers, which is a specialized piece of equipment specifically made for driveways. And there's companies out there servicing, thousands of driveways. I realized, what I'm doing now and my long-term vision, there is a path for that. Those two can come together. When we sat down, we realized that there was really nobody implementing the business model west of Ottawa. And, the market was ripe for, taking over. So that's what we decided to do. So after that conversation, I took his advice, brought the business model here, and things started growing quickly. Life was good. However, there was a certain level of pushback from local competitors. People weren't entirely happy. We were shaking the industry up a little bit, doing something entirely different. And, I had several competitors come to me and say, "Hey, kid, this isn't gonna work. You're gonna mess up the industry here. You don't know what you're doing. Stop this business model, do what we do, get with the program, and just follow the beaten path." And I don't know what it was inside of me at that point, but I just knew that, I didn't want their businesses. And frankly, I just didn't want their lives. I wanted to do something different. So in order to do that, I had to take a different course of action. And so whenever you are an outlier in a situation, don't think of that as a disadvantage. That is often actually your greatest strength. So although I'd found a unique business model on the snow side and things were going well there, snow is a seasonal business and I needed something to do in the summer. And I fell into the trap of, following what everybody else was doing and just, implementing the established model, which was, lawn care and general landscaping. And to be honest, I never really had any passion for cutting grass. It was just what you do when you do snow. So did that for several years, built that up. Actually, just recently it got to the point where, I realized I don't want to do this for the rest of my life. I have no interest in growing this business. There's no real equipment involved. It's a low barrier of entry business, and it was just draining me mentally. And so I decided, cut our losses, take a risk, ditch this business. We sold it to another local company and find something better to do in the summer. Focus is absolutely essential to success. I've found that the less services we offer, the more successful we become. I'd rather be the absolute best at one thing than mediocre at everything. I found that leadership is more about finding people's strengths and letting them play toward those, rather than, micromanaging every little task that they do. I want my people to feel like they have their own corner of the company. I want them to have divisions that, they build on their own, and those are their babies. So I founded a fertilizer and weed control company a couple of years ago. And in the process of growing that, a couple of my guys really started to enjoy that aspect of the business and really take an interest in it. So I decided to completely hand it over to them and actually give them, a ownership stake in it. And last year they doubled it, and this year they're planning to double it again. Steve Jobs said that the only way to do great work is to love what you do. If you're in an industry that you aren't excited about, I guarantee you there's someone out there who is excited about that game, and they're gonna outwork you every time. So at this point, we're servicing multiple locations. We have 2,400 residential customers in-house, 30 plus employees. And the employees, by the way, aren't just seasonal workers. We have several, year-round, career-driven people who have stakes in the company. And since working for us have, bought homes, had kids, and are really building a life out of this career. So I take a lot of pride in that and hope to be able to provide more opportunities like that. Honestly, kind of achieved what I had strived for as a kid at this point, but we're certainly not stopping now. We're doing and our next ones, and then after that we'll see, but yeah.